This is the webinar recording for the EcoClimate Foundation webinar with support of the CCAC and UNEP, titled Nigeria's Climate Heroes: How Informal Waste Pickers Are Fighting Methane, One Recycled Item at a Time, held on the 27th of June, 2026.
More than 90% of this recovery are not on any government payroll. They are the informal speakers. And every plastic bottle they pull out, every scrap of organic matter they divert, is one less of the quantum of methane that is supposed to disturb our planet Earth. Methane is a gas roughly 28 times more potent than a molecule of CO2 in warming our planet Earth. Think about this way. The cheapest and available climate action today in Nigeria is already happening at our dump sites. We haven't counted it yet. We haven't named it yet. And for a long, long time, we haven't included the people doing us this favor. That is what today is about. It is not just a webinar. It is an activity to invite you to join us. That's why today it is the waste speaker that we have put to be our hero. The cheapest climate action available in Nigeria today is still happening at our waste dump sites. We haven't counted it, like I said, but we are proud to lead this project with support from CCAC, building a national strategy to cut methane from our waste dump sites. And the people we hold dear to us are the waste speakers. In the next hour, Ambassador Yusuf will take us to the front lines with stories from the field. Dr. Kolawole will show us how we turn these stories into hard numbers and how these numbers can enter Nigeria's climate commitments. We will have two likely cohort quiz. So stay sharp, open to the Q&A session where your voice matters. So I ask you,
ED for
welcome everyone. Let's begin.
Okay.
Thank you, the ED, for those inspiring remarks. We may now receive goodwill messages from the representative of the Federal Ministry of Environment, NCCC, and also NISRA. Please, do we have any representative in the house? Okay,
hello,
without wasting much. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Umar.
I'm waiting for my colleague to join. I just sent him the link. And our head of division, Dr. Asmao Jibril, she was unable to be part of this webinar because she has other engagements. So she asked us to represent her.
Okay, sir, if you're ready to present, you have a minute to give us a talk, please.
All right. Here is the goodwill message from the Minister of Environment. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Assistant Director, Dr. Asmao Jibril, and the Department of Climate Change, I extend our warm goodwill message to all participants. The Department of Climate Change proudly celebrates Nigeria's climate hero, the informal waste pickers, whose tireless efforts are helping to fight methane emission. One recycled item at a time. Their invaluable contribution towards the recovery, environmental protection, and the circular economy demonstrate that every action counts in the fight against climate change. We commend their resilience and dedication and reaffirm our commitment to support inclusive climate solutions that recognize and empower these frontline champions to a cleaner, greener, and more sustainable Nigeria. Thank you, and have a successful deliberation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Umar, the representative Minister of Environment. We really appreciate you for good message. So without wasting much time, we'll now move to the third agenda in the list, which is the presentation, which is titled Stories from the Field, Empowering Informal Waste Systems and Accelerating Eco-Skills Solutions. It is my pleasure to introduce Yusuf Kango, the National Coordinator of the African Policy Dialogue Green Skills Transition Program. Ambassador, thank you for joining us. The floor is yours.
Thank you and good morning. Can you hear me, Shitu?
Yes, I can hear you. Welcome, sir.
Welcome, sir.
You are echoing. I just wanted to note that I would be switching up my video when I speak off. Okay, if you permit that, I could just go. All right. So we're looking at empowering informal waste systems and accelerating eco-skills transition. Nigeria has enjoyed the activity of people without recognizing who are those people. The informal waste pickers are Nigeria's frontline climate actors. Those are the people who are reducing the methane emission and supporting the circular economy. Who are these people? Growing up, I remember seeing some persons who will come in a popular way in the Hausa environment. We call them Ebola. They will come and ask for rubber shoes, leathers, some copper ions, and they will give us some sort of sweet that was created locally. That was produced locally. And, we would marry and we would be happy about it. Growing up, we did not know what it meant. We saw them as people who were not schooled and that they were very dirty people. Little did we know that these were people who were part of the persons that was cleaning the environment. At the same time, I remember that government had opportunities, days in a month that they call sanitation, mostly at the end of the month, where people come. There were inspectors that would come to ensure that you clean your environment. We felt that was the best. Now, it is not just to celebrate these informal speakers, but to also understand what they are doing to the economy. These are not the only heroes that we have in our society, because we have also recycling agents, and then at the same time, we do not recognize the services of these people. A quote is said that despite the critical role these people play, these climate heroes operate under extremely difficult conditions. And why do we do that? It is because of the challenges that we have in our society. Our society is fragmented by waste management system. We have so many uncontrollable and open dump sites, and there's little that we're doing about it, which is the reason for the climate change. And in these dump sites, you have high methane emissions. And these people come there to work. They are uneducated and they do not understand some of the impact or the diseases that might, that associates with picking up some of these things. What are we supposed to do? We also need to recognize the poor working conditions. And Nigeria will also have to see that as a challenge. We have not been able to recognize these people. What are we supposed to do? Because we have dump sites, because we know that we have fragmented waste management systems, we know that the presence of these waste bins, constitutes to the high emissions of methane within our society. The same way, we can see that they are working in very poor conditions. What are we supposed to do? Is to take a strategic intervention for the green transition. First is to look at safety and welfare. We need to build an insurance scheme for these persons. How do we do that? Of course, we know that around the country, there are those who are within the formal sector who are working, who enjoy these schemes, and they share from that. Those who also meet within the poor working conditions also know that we need some personal protection equipment, the use of hand gloves, the use of overalls, the use of safety boots to collect these items. We cannot grow until we're able to ensure that there's a sequence within the system. So after collection, what do? We need to ensure that we have hubs where these waste collectors that we popularly call scavengers, go to dump them or sell them. This hub will serve, as an advantage stage for those who pick them, because it will be encouraging. Once you go there and then you are able to have, you are paid for what you do, you understand that you need to do more. We have to also scale operations by ensuring that we finance this system. One of the things that we find very difficult in Nigeria also is the issue of data. Most of the activities that we carried out is either we pick it from one organization or one local place. But when you go to Bureau of Statistics, in most times we have issues with that. There are particular and specific issues that we want to get information that are government-owned that we find difficult. We need to synergize. We need to create and develop an efficient and effective data system. And then we also look at policy in terms of reforms. What are government doing? Government must create policy and regulations in ensuring that we carry out this system effectively. How do we develop it? There are critical stakeholders who are part of it. Government already has been emphasized. Like what we are doing, giving information today, looking at development and financial institutions, as well as the non-governmental organizations. at every level, whether at the community base or whatever level, we must be able to understand that creating these finances and ensuring that the responsibility of policy and regulation is put together, we can be able to solve these problems. At the level of NGOs, we have to understand, like what you are doing, ecosystem is doing today, is to develop the capacity of people and then create awareness. Informal waste speakers must also be built to be professional in what they are doing. Create these organizations, whether at the level of cooperatives or non-governmental organizations, so that they can be structured. And when households, the stakeholder also understands that they need to segregate some of these things. When I am traveling, it's interesting to see that when you sit in public places in developed nations, you see even their waste bins, are fragmented and they are segregated, where you need to drop copper or ions, where you need to drop materials that are all of these things are there. It has been created by policy of government and enforced by the same agencies of government, and highlighted and encouraged by non-governmental organizations and funded by these development institutions. So when we create these, we would be able to understand that we have a system that works. Otherwise, we will have it very difficult, to be able to reduce the emissions or the high level of methane within our system. What are the takeaways and what are the call to actions? What we are simply saying is that informal waste speakers are climate heroes. You cannot take that from them. And what is the call to action? Is that we must recognize informal waste speakers as climate workers. How do we do that? We have mentioned the issue of stakeholders of government and NGOs. Government must be able to create that enabling environment by making policies that works. And we must enforce and ensure that we encourage and create information awareness to the public to be able to understand that this is something that we need to do in order for us to stay healthy. Nigeria's waste system remains highly fragmented. What do? We need to invest in green skills and save livelihoods. This is very important. And you can see that there are also strategic investment. This can transform the sectors. We can make money from it. Organizations that where we talk about the connecting dots, that we must create hubs, collecting hubs, where these people would take, these scavengers will take it to, and they get paid. And once you are rewarded for your action, you feel, encouraged to do more. Every stakeholder at every level must collaborate, must ensure that they play their role. This is only one of the most important ways that we can reduce methane through inclusive climate action. It is important. And this is where I want to take also an opportunity to share with you the National Inclusive Green Jobs Act bill, which is currently at the National Assembly. It has scaled the second reading already. It is being sponsored by Honorable Victor at the House of Representatives. And we are calling on everyone who is a stakeholder within the climate sector to be able to join us to see how can we work within this space to be able to ensure that policies and frameworks are created to promote, decent, inclusive, and sustainable jobs within the green economy. And what are we doing? The bill seeks, to support sectors such as waste management, as what we are talking about, recycling, renewable energy, and so on and so forth. If you look below, we have a link via which you can, be able to share in this struggle. My encouragement is that this work is not for just these heroes that we're talking about. You can see the transition that from somebody who is concerned and would just want to feed himself and sees that perhaps he does not have any skill to be able to feed himself. He's able to, from waste beans, is able to make a living out of it, and at the same time create a healthier environment for all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to speak like a guy who is from the village, and that is what we do. It is my honor to have spoken in this forum of EcoClimate Foundation, and I really thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Yusuf Kanhu, for that insightful presentation. We will now proceed to our first interactive Kahoot quiz session. This is just an opportunity for you to test your knowledge and as well engage with today's discussion. So I'll hand over to my colleague who will be handling the Kahoot. Mr. Shitu, you're welcome.
Sorry, can you check? You are mute. We can't hear you, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, thank you so much. So I said thank you once more, Ambassador Yusuf, for the opportunity and your time. And like I said, this is just like an interactive session for us to like brainstorm, for us to be able to, comprehend what we've listened from him. So I think the Kahoot session is about to start. So participants should get ready. And yeah, we'll be having 2 Kahoot sessions, but the second one will be taking off immediately after the second speaker finishes. So this is like the first session. So Mr. Shitu, please, are you ready?
Yes, we are ready. Good morning, everybody. As usual, my name is Shitu Abdurrahman, the ICT manager at EcoClimate Foundation, and I'll be taking you through the Kahoot session for today. For those that are used to joining the Kahoot, you just go to kahoot.it, kahoot.it, and then you enter in the game code that is here. And for ease, we have the link sent to the group. So you can just click the link from the group and it will bring you directly here. You are going to choose your nickname and you should be able to appear here. Angobite is back again. Angobite was our last winner from the last webinar that we did. I think he's here to dominate the game. So we'll just have 1 minute, then we rush through because the Kahoot is just 10 minutes. Hmm? Also, please, just so that we're in Nigeria and network is not always strong. So if you are on the call and your video is on, please help us off your video. This is to save people's bandwidth. Okay. I think we'll be starting. Anybody that's not able to join this one will be able to join the second Kahoot so that we don't dwell on people join. You still be able to join if you've not joined yet. For ease, once you go back to the main EcoClimate community group, you can just click on it and it will bring you in like this. I see people are rushing in to join. But, you know, we don't want to dwell too much time here. Wow. Hmm? Good. So remember, Kahoot is a game of speed and accuracy. So first question, this webinar is presented by one Federal Ministry of Environment and Federal Government of Nigeria, the EcoClimate with the support of CCAC and UNEP, the African Policy Dialogue, with Speakers Association of Nigeria. This was said by our communications manager when she was introducing. Good. So 17 people got. Now the race begins. Who serves as the national coordinator for African Policy Dialogue Green Skill Transition Program? Is it Dr. Ayetundo Kolawale or Ambassador Yusuf Kanho or the Speakers Association of Nigeria or a local DeFi? Oh, so if people are remembering his name, Avi, so that's good. Okay. The leaderboard is moving. Informal waste pickers represent a minor secondary labor force in landfill emissions efforts. True or false? Are they minor or are they major? No. So they're actually a major, not a minor. Remember, Kahoot, you have to be fast and accurate at the same time. The current state of municipal waste collection in Nigeria cities is best described as highly structured, fully automated, highly fragmented, government subsidized. I remember seeing it when I was moving through his slide. There was a bullet point there that was explaining what it is. 25 answers. So we have 25 people playing the game. Wow. Highly fragmented. So you are paying more attention than me. Gizmo, Fifi, Yusuf, MGB, and Mimi. You guys are all doing well. Which strategic intervention is proposed to ensure the health protection and welfare of waste workers? Providing micro-insurance policies, mandating higher taxes, relocating landfills outside the city, banning informal waste picking. 26 answers. 28 answers. Okay, that's good. Providing micro-insurance policies. Mimi Bakar, welcome to the leaderboard. Of course. One way to scale operation is by funding motorized waste compactors and automated sorting technologies. True or false? Wow. Why all of you getting the right answer? You don't choose the wrong answers, man. Bakar, you're even on fire from KSF. I don't need to say it. But you guys, I'm proud of you guys. How are households expected to contribute to the green economy ecosystem? By paying extra waste taxes, by purchasing their own waste compactors, by embracing trash segregation at the source, by transporting their own waste to landfills. So, household from the source, how can they contribute to the green economy ecosystem? Not 24 people. Well, I know they feel. Katapar. Welcome to the leaderboard. What environmental vectors significantly reduced by preventing the open decay of organic trapped plastics? Nitrogen, methane, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide. Like I give an example. Carbon monoxide is the smoke that comes out of your cars. The rest you get it by yourself. Methane. Okay, 25 people got the right answer, and 3 more people by the side. Gizmo is holding on to his title. Fifi also, Yusuf, Mimi. It's like people that are winning don't want to fail. More than half of the total waste in Nigeria is successfully recovered and recycled. True or false? This was given in the speech by our ED. Is it successfully recovered and recycled? So most of the waste are actually not successfully recovered and recycled. That's why you pay attention to speeches. GCU, welcome back to Leaderboard. Last question. Which intervention converts dry fibrous plants and agricultural waste into dense solid fuel? So we have 14 people with the right answers. I think this is one of the most fair questions somehow. But now let's see our final leaderboard. Those that persisted, those that came, saw, and conquer. Katapar from 5th position. Oh. Zigizmo? Yeah, Gizmo. Gizmo was number 1 from, I think, question 5. And he held on to his number 1 till the end. Congratulations. And don't remember, as usual, all the winners, the first 3 winners, you screenshot what you're currently seeing on your page, you send into the main group with your account number, and you receive your cash incentives. You can do that now, so that before the next Kahoot, you should have been credited already. We don't do audio money. If we say we're giving you something, we give you live. So I'll pass back the moderating task to my colleague. Should continue from there.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shitu, for that interactive and engaging Kahoot session. And thank you also for participating. So we'll move to the next agenda, which is the presentation of the talk, quantifying the methane impact of informal waste speakers into national climate strategy. And to deliver this presentation, I am pleased to welcome Dr. Ayotunde Kolawole of the Ekiti State University, who also serves as the project manager for Parallel Point Development Initiatives and HASI Nigeria. Doctor, the floor is yours. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I am happy to be part of these environmental actors, and I believe everyone can hear me clearly. And
Welcome. We're happy to have you.
If at any point in time you cannot hear me, please signify. So I want to project the screen. First and foremost, I want to appreciate the privilege given to me by the EcoClimate Foundation, the executive director, and every other stakeholder that are doing the good work to make our environment a better place. I think it is high time that we acknowledge, document, and appreciate the role of the informal waste picker in our environment. So this brings us to the, can you see the slide?
Not yet, sir.
Okay, sorry, let me. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know
Thank
if you
you.
could switch your phone to landscape mode so to be one slide at a time.
Okay, landscape. Okay.
Click on the play that is down.
Okay, this one is okay.
Play, not send.
Mr. Shitu, can you, if you have the slide, you show us why you control the slide, and it just
Okay.
take the lecture.
Okay, that will be fine too.
Okay. I think you can just stop presenting from your end.
Okay, I can continue.
Sure, you can go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you everyone again. Quantifying methane impacts of informal waste picker into national climate strategy. First and foremost, Nigeria, due to our increasing population and our habit of handling waste, this has really put Nigeria in a front line whereby massive waste are generated. From our executive director when he was presenting, 32 million tons of municipal waste, solid waste, are generated annually in Nigeria. And this is not far-fetched due to our population as the most populous country in Africa, and our attitude towards waste management, especially in the rural, semi-urban areas where proper waste management are not strictly enforced in the community, in the society. This has brought us to a stage whereby out of the total waste that are generated, only a quarter of this waste are being recovered and recycled. And who are the ones doing this job? These are the people that we belittle, we felt that they are doing a dirty job, people that we call just like Ambassador said, that they call it Bola. In our side here in the Southwest, we call them Shale Shale. Some people, they call them Iron Condemn. These are the people that we belittle, that we look down on, and seeing that they are doing a very dirty job. And out of this one quarter of waste that are recovered and recycled, these are the people that are exploring about 90% of this waste, which we call the informal waste pickers. And this is done through their active recovery and through their material separation, whereby they sort the materials, paper, steel, iron, rubber, plastics, and all sort of things like that. And you know that there will be a danger because the 75% that remains, that is not being recovered, that is not being processed or being transformed into what we can use for further action and to mitigate the release of methane into the environment, just as it has been said in our earlier discussion. And I want us to also see that it is time that the stone that the builder rejected is now becoming the chief cornerstone in the area that we have to recognize the informal waste pickers as one of the major actors in trying to achieve this goal. To go to the third slide, which is the methane climate footprint. One of the most sustainable and fastest way to reduce global emission, which is an environmental threat, is to ensure that we mitigate the release of methane. And most times we looked at methane, a very potent gas, and from here we are saying that this methane has 28 times warming power of the carbon dioxide, according to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. And what does this imply? This implies that for every 1 ton of methane emitted into the atmosphere, this 1 ton warms the earth by as much as 28 tons of carbon dioxide over 100 years. And we can see that this methane is a very dangerous, a very potent gas, whereby if we don't take action, it will be very disastrous to our environment. And if we go to the fourth slide, where we are talking about how is this methane even emitted into the environment, methane emission, what are the primary sources? The largest source of this emission is from coal and other sectors, also coupled by the oil and the gas production through carbon flaring and others. But the one that we are talking about here, whereby the actors, the informal waste pickers are active, is the one that is generated through landfills and waste. This contributes about 14% of emission. The one that are generated through landfills and waste, whereby organic waste can be diverted so that we can mitigate this 14%. For the enteric fermentation, that is 23% of emission. People may wonder, how does this releases methane into the atmosphere? You know, the ruminant animals, their stomach compartment, whereby there is microorganisms in their stomach that breaks down the fibrous plant materials. So this breakdown result into gases, whereby as the animals belch, methane is being released into the atmosphere. So the areas whereby we can come into this place through the informal waste pickers is through the landfills and waste. And this takes me to slide 5, which talks about the role of informal waste pickers. Informal waste pickers, these are the people that we are talking about, the individuals, the people we see in our communities, in place of dump sites, that recovers recyclable materials, such as plastics, metals, papers, glass, even cartons from our streets, from the markets, from households, even from dump sites. And we looked at these people that they provide an essential environmental service, despite their informal recognition, despite their lack of adequate equipment, despite social protection, despite the failure to recognize these people in our communities. It is high time that we document, and we audit their roles. Very, very important. So slide 6, the frontline pillars of the circular economy. The first one, we are talking about resource recovery. In the resource recovery, we have the non-biodegradable components, which are the plastics, whereby which is separated here based on their density, the polyethylene and the one of terephthalate plastics, which directly prevents environmental leakages due to their non-biodegradable nature. When I talk about non-biodegradable, that is, they cannot be decomposed, they cannot be rotted by microorganisms. This is the reason why we have to sort. For instance, when I was in the United States, during my Mandela Washington Fellowship. In our lodge, we normally have three waste plastic. We have the one of the paper, we have the one of the nylon, and we have the one of other maybe organic waste. We have the one of even steel, like all this make tin and other things. So based on their level of their biodegradability, and it's very important that we sort them, because in the process of converting these materials into other useful items that can lock carbon, both of them cannot work together. Also, we have the organic diversion. Under the organic diversion, we have materials that are biodegradable. For instance, our food waste, agro waste, paper waste, and talk of waste that can be decomposed. Even the dungs from animals, ruminants, biodegradable waste, residues, our cassava peels, talk of whatever waste that are organic. So this is in the area of the organic diversion. We also have the dump site relief. The dump site relief is the areas whereby spontaneous combustion hazard is being reduced, whereby if there is a way that we can always pack up all this waste to reduce decomposition, to reduce their volume, then definitely this will ought methane release into the atmosphere. So going to slide 7, which is talking about emission quantification. So it is important for us to establish the baseline metrics for environmental impact validation, since we want to recognize the role of informal waste pickers as a way of preventing this 14% of emission of methane into the atmosphere. It is important that we know the outputs of every individual pickers. To create auditable carbon emission data, and this is very important to provide evidence-based strategy, which will allow the alignment into national accounting and green sovereign finance opportunities. Very, very important, so that there will be a formidable establishment of auditable carbon mitigation data in our environment. In furtherance, what are the roadmaps to ensure this formalization and inclusion of these informal waste pickers? Just like I said in my opening speech, that the stone that the builder rejected is now becoming the chief cornerstone as one of the major green actors in our environment. And at all government settings, there must be a legal recognition, creating a national register to legitimate informal pickers as official green enterprise operators. Very, very important. Registering them, giving them a national recognition, and this can be done by our advocacies and trying to make their work known to everyone and to the people that can put this action into place, into practice. The second one is municipal integration. We have to contract waste pickers unions cooperate directly into municipal waste utility payments in a case whereby we have many waste managements across every state. For instance, in Ekiti State, we have the Ekiti State Waste Management, Lagos State, we have different waste management. So it is important that if we want to ensure their integration, they have to be contracted through their unions, through their cooperatives, whereby they form a formidable group. Another way to formalize them and to make them inclusive in our environmental roadmap is that we must also be concerned about their health and safety. These people are human. They are human like you and I. whereby they are being exposed to different hazards every day, things that you cannot do, that you cannot expose yourself to. They are trying to ensure that, oh, we can do it. So definitely the protective gears, the protective measures must be put in place. Regular medical checkups, probably there are ailments through that might have happened by inhalation and things like that. Social safety net programs must be provided for them too, which is very, very key. And the other roadmap here is to strengthen their cooperatives, empowering the association like the Waste Pickers Association of Nigeria, weapon for standard collective bargaining, which is very, very key. So what are the expected socio-environmental returns? First and foremost, there will be prevention of global warming, just like I said in my opening remarks, that this methane, for every 1 ton of methane released into the atmosphere, it warms the earth even as much as 28 tons of carbon dioxide over 100 years. So by the time we try to mitigate the methane release, you can see the harm that we are preventing in our environment. Even in the area of public health protection, there are many respiratory diseases, that people has encountered that lead to about death. About 255,000 avoided respiratory deaths. That's the targeted, and this will lead to drastic cuts in respiratory-related diseases or hospitalization. Also, in the agricultural security, 26 million tons of crop loss will be prevented, and these crops serves as a way of locking up, using up this carbon dioxide, which is a waste, which is very dangerous to us. It is the food that the plant eats through the process called photosynthesis. And imagine if all these crops, if all these trees are not there, that will pose a danger to the atmosphere. So we have to ensure stabilized food supply chains in our systems. The economic productivity, about 73 billion labor hours saved. Yes. So we have people that will be engaged in this work. This will mitigate extreme heat exposure impacts on outdoors jobs. So going to the multi-stakeholder climate dialogue, it is important that we unify the waste ecosystem, bridging the policy gap. Very, very important. The federal and the state agencies must translate these local activities of informal waste pickers into national determined contribution. Also, advocacies from civil groups, very, very important, very, very key for their role to be recognized. Even NGOs, non-governmental organizations, to promote human rights focused formalization pathways, which are very key. Even we can go online to ensure advocacies, to ensure that these people are formally recognized. Also, is the private industrial recyclers supplying technical infrastructure and stable materials demand, which is very, very, very key. Going to the 11th slide, low cost and sustainable solutions. This is very, very key. As my role as a project manager with Parallel Point Development Initiative and AC, in a project where I manage the project called the Nigerian for Women project, one of the major goals of the World Bank is for us to reduce methane. And how are we reducing this methane? We are training WAGs. WAG is Women Affinity Group, whereby we train them in the area of biochar and compost creation. What is biochar? Biochar, they are made from biodegradable materials, agricultural waste, whereby we can combust under low oxygen, and it will create the biochar that can be used as fertilizer, that can be used as soil repellent instead of we using chemicals to use on our land. And this sequesters carbon effectively. So biochar, very, very important. And compost creation too. By the time we did not allow this biodegradable waste to decompose. We can create use them as manure. Going to the biomass briquetting. Yes, this biochar that has been created can be converted into briquettes. Briquettes are like the charcoal, but briquettes are the charcoal that are made from waste, from biodegradable waste, not charcoal that are made from trees, from wood. So these are made from all the waste that we have on our farms, and can be used to replace firewood, protecting our local forest and creating green jobs. So these are two are low cost and sustainable solutions whereby we can train our youths, women in the area of biochar production, in the area of biomass briquetting. If audience will need further explanation on this, I think they can contact Eco Foundation. I can supply them with important materials, and probably maybe there could be a training after on this biochar compost creation and biomass. To conclude my lecture, I want to appreciate everyone for our role. I think we are going there to build bridges. We should not build walls for sustainability. And even the stone that the builders have rejected, this is high time that we appreciate them as the chief cornerstone. You and I, we also have a role to play. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kolawole, for that enlightening presentation. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Before we proceed to the next agenda, which is the second Kahoot interactive session, I would love to call on Mr. Tony Babalola of EcoClimate Foundation to enlighten us about the upcoming Methane Ambassadors program. Mr. Toyin, it's a pleasure to have you here, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. We're grateful this morning for Can you hear me?
Yes,
we can hear you.
So we have been listening to our speakers, and the EcoClimate Foundation has this plan ongoing to recruit as many as possible volunteers, which we call ambassadors, onto this platform to spread this news, to spread this facts about methane and how we can, salvage this situation. I think I read recently in Ogun State or so that there was a challenge with methane in the environment, and they had to send some children back home. So we can see the impact of methane is so severe in our land. And just like the ED was discussing with us in a meeting a couple of days ago, that France and England are facing high temperature now in the history. I don't think that they've ever experienced such thing before. So we need more people on board to report situations in their community, to report, to also, be flag bearers, to be ambassadors of methane in Nigeria within the communities across the Federation. So that is why on our website, if you visit our website, the application portal is there, and you can onboard yourself. You can take in it's a course you can take to get yourself equipped with what you will need in your community. So I think I will drop the website on the chat. Please visit the website, take that short course, enroll, and you'll be onboarded shortly onto the program. So thank you very much. Hand over to Faith.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tony Babalola, for that insightful presentation. So we'll move forward to the second Kahoot session.
Yeah, I think we can't hear. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. So while we wait for Mr. Shitu to onboard the Kahoot session, like Mr. Tony Babalola rightly said, we need ambassadors from all across Nigeria and even the world at large. We are planning to extend this program from the north through the south, east, and west, and we need members from different communities to participate. Also, like I said during the first Kahoot session, it is just like a platform for us to engage and test our abilities about what we've been taught, of what we've heard from the presenters. So I don't know if Mr. Shitu is ready now for the Kahoot session.
Okay. Good morning once again. So just before we jump into the Kahoot, for the courses that is required to become a methane ambassador, once you're on the website at ecoclimatefoundation.org, you can just go to the courses section here and you take the course on short-lived climate pollutants. Once you are done, you are going to receive the certificates. It's continuous learning where you watch videos and you take quizzes and you earn your certificates. To apply for the methane ambassador, you come under the methane map. Then you see the methane ambassador registration form. You can just upload, you also upload your certificate of completion for the short-lived climate pollutant course when you are attaching your documents. Now onto the Kahoots again. As always, the game pin is going to be displayed now. I'll also copy the link and send into the WhatsApp group. And also, while that is going, if you have any question, you can drop it into the comments, the chat section, and they'll be catered to during the interactive question and answer time. So the link is also in the group right now. Uncle Bite is here again. You know, these are people that don't give up and they don't relent. So 1 minute for everybody to join and we will kick off as usual. Please, on the main group, only the first three, but the top three participants, the top three winners should post in with their account numbers. We had about 28 people on the first call. So let's just leave for 20. Okay, said 1 minute. We're not waiting for a number. Just 1 minute for everybody to check. I'm just noticing something also. If you hover on somebody's face, their avatar is going to
Please, what about the link? Okay, okay, sorry.
Yeah, I think our 1 minute is up. Let's get it started.
The link is not on
So,
the chat.
yeah, we don't have it in the chat.
We don't have the link on the chat, please.
So, no, it's on the WhatsApp group. Sorry. What's the name of the
It's not
second?
everybody in the WhatsApp group. So some of us can only get the link from the chat of this call.
Mr. Shitty, please try to add me in the WhatsApp group. Please, Mr. Fidelis. Going forward, please.
For anybody
Yeah,
that wants to get to the WhatsApp group, there was an email sent to everybody that registered with the link to the WhatsApp community. So maybe you missed the email. Okay, so the name of our second speaker is Dr. Ayetunde Kolaole from Ekiti State University. So if you've not joined, go to kahoot.it. I showed it during the first Kahoot. Kahoot.it, and you use this game pin that is down. Please, can you help us drop the game pin on the chat? So I think we continue. You can still join as we're going. Approximately how much municipal waste does Nigeria generate annually? In is 5933016. Okay, over 32 million tons of waste is being generated annually in Nigeria. Because in this slide, so Miti, Mr. 12, Ismo, and Fifi. These are new names. Welcome to the leaderboard. More than half of the total waste in Nigeria is successfully recovered or recycled. If you feel this question, okay. Some people still feel no. Sure, you are here. We are all here to learn about this. Is still staying on this. Methane is a potent short-lived climate pollutant. What is its global warming compared to CO2? That's the GWP that was explained by Dr. Kolaole. GWP. And to learn more about this, of course, you can learn on the entire short-lived climate pollutant course on EcoClimate Foundation website. That's good. I like when I see leaderboard shifting. Which intervention converts dry fibrous plants and agricultural waste into dense solid fuel? Is it biochar creation, biomass pipetting, chemical synthesizing, or decentralized composting? This was on slide 9, I believe. Okay, so for everybody, please, since I'm on the Kahoot page, I can't mute people myself. Please, if you are not speaking, you should mute yourself. Equipping small communities with decentralized composting system helps block anaerobic gas generation. True or false? Two people still click the wrong answer. Meaty is the Angobites and MLs, M as well. This is the first person before. That is strategic governance roadmap. What is the purpose of creating national registries? Informal speakers. Tax their earnings to legitimate them as official green enterprise operators. To phase them out of the industry, to restrict their movement. By meeting the 45% reduction target projected to prevent 3 degrees Celsius of global warming by 2040. This should be on slide 7. So nobody clicked wrong answer. Like some people are winning and are holding on to their winnings very tightly. Question 9 out of 10. Which stakeholder group translates local waste management activities into national determined NDCs? Which bodies do create NDCs? The federal and state agencies, civic groups and NGOs, private industrial recyclers, Waste Pickers Association. The body responsible for creating NDCs, nationally determined contribution. So it's actually the government that will do that. Okay. Tables are shifting. Last question. What is the slogan of EcoClimate Foundation? Clean air, brighter future. Me and you, climate action. Act on climate before it's too late. Green climate for everyone. What is the slogan of EcoClimate Foundation? Bonus question. If you have been following us on our social medias, which you should do, you should know the answer by now. You see? You're not following us on social media. Only 3 people got this answer right. It's me and you, climate action, not green EcoClimate for everybody. So this shows you should follow us on social media and visit our website. There are blogs there that you can read on. As me on my website, you see me and you climate action everywhere. Now let's go to the leaderboard. In third position, we have Fifi. And Emma well as the first position. Congrats. This is the first time I'm saying the name. And you came from the bottom and you're relentless. See, you won. So congratulations. Again, please, the second and third person should screenshot their current positions, send into the WhatsApp community with their account number, and I'll be doing that. I'll be crediting you guys right now. So I'll be handing over the moderating task back to my colleague.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shitu, for that engaging section again. Like we said, we are talk and do. So if you know you won, please just kindly drop your details in the WhatsApp community and we'll reach out to you. Okay, so now we will take.
Okay, so just as a guarantee, if you don't get your cash incentives in the next 30 minutes, just secretary again. But everybody will get credited right now. And thank you all for winning. And every other person that participated is actually a winner. It's just that, you know, amongst winner, they are winners also. So thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Shitu. So we will now move to the next session, which is entertaining questions from the participants. So please, if you have questions, you can raise your hand virtually or you drop it in the chat box. Please, we should make our questions brief and as well specific. Thank you. If you do have your questions, please, you can raise your hands virtually or you send it in the chat box. Sure.
Hello, Shitu. I can see the rank. That's so you can very specific.
Someone was saying something, please. Okay, so from the chat box here, I'll start from the first. Okay, so most people are asking about the link to the WhatsApp community. So the link to the WhatsApp community has already been dropped in the chat box here. So please, you can kindly scroll down and click on the link so you'll be in the WhatsApp community as well. I can also see please entries here. Okay, there's another person who asked for the link to the website. The link will also be dropped here, so you can. Okay, I have a question here. It said, does biogas combustion has a negative effect on climate? This is asked by Olukunle Babatunde. Okay, so Mr. Olukunle Babatunde, are you referring it to any of the speakers, your questions to any of the speakers, or you're referring to EcoClimate in general? Mr. Olukunle, please, you can mute yourself. Okay, to the speaker, the first or the second speaker, please.
Hello, I think I can respond.
All right, okay.
Hello?
All right, sir.
Yeah, thank you for the question. You were asking whether biogas combustion has adverse effects. Yes, number one, it has a little effects, but when we combust the biogas, it is better for the climate than when we release the raw biogas into the atmosphere. This shows that it is not completely free of negative effects. But the major thing is that if biogas are leaked into the atmosphere, there will be a huge release of methane, unlike when the biogas is combusted. So I think That's the question. So a biogas combustion does not have some negative effect on the environment, but its climate impact is usually much very lower than when you use fossil fuels or when you allow methane to be released while it is not treated into the atmosphere.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Kulawoli, for answering the question.
Welcome.
Okay. Because of time, we have another question here from Nathan Kambali. He says, we have highlighted the importance of waste pickers, but there are also challenges with these waste pickers in that they are in forefront in this indiscriminate disposal of waste. How about how best do we curtail this problem? Any of the speakers? So any of the speakers can answer this question, please.
Okay, maybe I should speak. He is asking how the problem of indiscriminate waste disposal can be managed. This is why we must not leave everything into the hands of the government or individual or on the NGOs alone. We need a proactive action. We need a holistic action that will encompasses every government at every level, either local, state, federal, so that these informal waste pickers can be recognized, their role can be documented, and I think this is really the reason why we are here. This is the reason why every one of us wants to be enrolled as a green actor. So it's not as if maybe an individual can take all the action, but we have to come together. It's a joint task. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. So we'll move over to our next schedule because of time. So next is the call to action by the representative from NESRA. So please, you're welcome.
Hello. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Okay,
Welcome.
my name is Swala Matinzello. I work with Nesra, representing the DG stroke CEO of Nesra. So what we have heard today is not new about the waste pickers on our streets. They have always known their work matters. What is new is that we are finally saying it out loud in research, in policy, and in conversations, just like this one we've had. Every day without uniforms, without recognition, and without protection of formal employment, these men and women are doing what our climate commitments demand. They are pulling plastic waste from drains before it reaches the ocean. They are diverting organic waste from open dumps before it decomposes into methane. They are also the most, in the most literal sense, they are fighting climate change by one recovered item at a time. So Nigeria now has these tools to match their efforts. We have the Federal Ministry of Environment has proposed or has implemented the national policy on plastic waste management, and it sets out the direction on how plastic waste can be managed in Nigeria. And then national environmental standards measure have a couple of regulations. Importantly, the National Environmental Waste Plastic Control Regulation, and um, we have some regulations on um, waste electronic equipment. And NETA is currently implementing these regulations, and they create legal and economic architecture for something we call the extended producer responsibility, where producers of manufacturing equipment that have the potential to find themselves in waste dumps have a responsibility to recover those materials. And this opens up an opportunity for recycling, and this can also be a pool that the informal waste pickers can be used. So the framework exists. What must follow is the deliberate inclusion of these people who do the actual recovery work. So the call to action here, the government agencies should count these workers and connect their recovery data to our national climate reporting and implementation strategies. To producers, they should design their extended producer responsibility systems to flow resources down to the collectors, not just former recyclers. And to the civil society, we should keep documenting and keep amplifying and keep holding all of us accountable. So the material we want to reduce is already in our hands and it's in their hands. Our job is to ensure the system finally works in their favor. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for that engaging call to action. Um, I want to thank you all for joining this webinar today. And as we conclude, I would like to express our sincere appreciation to our speakers, our partners, the participants, and everyone who contributed to the success of this webinar. Together, we can amplify the contributions of informal waste speakers and advance climate action in Nigeria. We will now take a group shot or a screenshot of all of us here. Please kindly turn up our cameras if possible. So, yes, thank you so much, Mr. Lavaran, for that smile. Can we all smile, please, for the camera?
Yeah, but I also
Thank you
raised
so
my
much.
hand to ask question. I was not given the opportunity.
Yes, I understand. It's due to time. We have had the behind schedule. Sorry. So next month we'll be having another webinar. So we can extend the time for more questions. All right.
All right, thank you very much. It was very nice seeing you all. Thanks to you guys to discuss. It's all about winners. It's slightly less to say of this.
Mr. Chitu, are you done?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you all. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you once more for joining the webinar. Like I earlier said, it was a pleasure having all of you here. Thank you. We can now please exit.